Hi, good evening. Let's be clear. Keir Starmer's government, all of this mob behind me, is not on our side. They've made it clear over the last 2 to 3 days. And today was the big relaunch of Keir Starmer. Although he wasn't in the Commons, he was busy being interviewed on BBC 5, dead. They deserve each other, as far as I'm concerned. They can't hide, though. Labour is in utter chaos. Do you agree with me? That's what we're talking about tonight. Get your comments coming in now. I want to hear what you have to say. Because Keir Starmer is... Oh, I'm John Gaunt, by the way. Good evening. Keir Starmer is back from his holiday, but his government is already in a tailspin. His so-called big reshuffle was supposed to show strength, unity, toughness, decisive decisions. Yet his most prominent appointment today was Darren Jones. Do you remember him? He's the guy who went on Question Time, national TV, and said that the majority of the people in these boats, the boats coming into Dover, are children, babies, and women. The audience just laughed their socks off at his delusion. The guy from, what's it called now this week? Reform UK, Zia Yusuf, laid into him. But he stood by his guns and he said, no, the majority of the people in the boats are children, babies, and women. Was he deluded or was he lying? Well, if he was deluded, the delusion is fast becoming the hallmark of Starmer's government. They don't seem to have a Scooby-Doo to understand why Reform UK are now massively slaughtering them in the polls. And Starmer, how can the leader of a country ever put the rights of illegal migrants, criminals, above the needs of the British people who pays his wages? But again, it's not just Starmer who thinks this. Yesterday, that Bridget Phillipson, I call her Cruella de Vil without the charm, the education secretary, went on TV and doubled down on this and said, yes, refugees stroke migrants are more important than us. Their needs have got to be looked after. That's why they've ended up in 4-star bloody hotels. And that's the other part of this delusion. I'm going to talk about Yvette Cooper in a moment and what she had to say in Parliament, which was a load of cobblers as well. But they keep referring to them as refugees. This is Labour spin. This is Labour corruption. Undoubtedly, some of the people coming in those small boats are genuine refugees, probably fleeing persecution. And we, this great country called the United Kingdom, called Great Britain, we should take those people in. Anyone who is fleeing persecution. That's what we do. But there's something like 90-something% aren't that. They're economic migrants. They want to come here to better their lives. I don't object to that ambition. It's a good ambition. But we can't allow them to come illegally and just take over. We can't. That's just logical. But Labour keep using the word refugee. It's like the BBC. I've just watched the BBC now, and there's a report, and they said, oh, yeah, look, what is the ECHR? And, is this going to clamp down on refugees' rights to a family life? They're not refugees. If you wrote that sentence correctly, you would say these economic migrants, these illegal migrants, and some refugees. I couldn't object to that. That would be fair. But the uber liberals who are pushing this agenda don't do that. They want to make you feel guilty. Just like they want to make you feel guilty about your flag, your history, your tradition, your culture. These people will stop at nothing to make you feel guilt rather than pride in our great country. I'm proud of the fact that we've taken in refugees over the years. I'm proud of the fact that we used to have well-controlled, managed migration, which, as I keep saying, has made the country better. But they know it's out of control now. They know the illegal immigration is out of control, so they're putting up smoke screens. First of all, Starmer then appoints Darren Jones to become like his number two. The deluded of the deluded. The man who said most of the people in the dinghies, most of the people in these boats are children, babies and women. Rubbish. A liar. Or deluded. And then today, Yvette Cooper, she's going to make this big speech today. She's back from interrailing around Europe. Grow up, for God's sake. But she's back with Ed Balls, her husband, and she's come back and she's made this big statement today. And I thought, well, maybe she's going to say, okay, we'll leave the ECHR. She said nothing of the sort. She tinkered at the edges as if this would somehow stop the chaos, stop the protests, stop the riots. We already know that the BBC and the mainstream newspapers and media in this country are not reporting on what's actually happening in these places. GB News is, but nobody else. Why? Because they've been got to by the government. Keep a cap on this, keep a cap on it. No, tell us what's happening. Because what's happening here is we've got a leader, Keir Starmer, who puts the rights of illegal migrants above the needs of the British people. Not just him, Yvette Cooper, she thinks the same. Lammy, the same. Bridget Nicholson, Cruella de Vil, the same. They've got this sort of idea of multicultural, multiracial society, and that anybody who objects to the fact that these undocumented men of fighting age are in a hotel in their neighborhood right next to a school like in Epping, that they're far-right fascists. And they're not. They're ordinary people. And, of course, the wheel is now falling off their wagon. Overnight, or over the last 2 days, in Australia, there have been similar demonstrations. In Japan of all places, they don't want to lose their culture. So they're objecting. They're protesting. This is a worldwide phenomenon. People want, if you're British or English or Scottish or Welsh or a Spanishman, you want to be that. You don't. That's why the EU could never work. I don't mind calling myself English, British, and kind of European, but it could never be the other way round. European first. No. I want us to be a sovereign nation, and I want us to have borders, and I think you probably do too. And what I don't want is this elite trying to make me feel guilty. And that is why today, behind me, and indeed if you look at any of my social media, I'm calling the whole of the lousy Labour government traitors. Traitors. Traitors to our culture, our history, our traditions. Why? Why do they hate our flag? Why do they hate us? And I'm not going to tolerate it. What about you? Is it too harsh to call them this? I think it's actually right on the money. And then today, we've had some bullshit. What did she say? Let me just find this for you. I wrote this down because, again, I couldn't believe it. She said today, Yvette Cooper, she said that flags, if we wave the flag of St. George or the Union Jack, she called it, it's called the Union flag, love, but never mind. We should wave those flags with kindness. What the effing hell does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. She's criticising the people in Epping, Manchester, Nuneaton, because they're protesting with the flag and therefore they're far-right fascists. It comes back to the same thing, what he said in Southport. These people are in the wrong. No, they're not. They're in the right. Starmer, you're in the wrong. You're a traitor. So are you, Yvette Cooper. Put our country and our people first. It's not too difficult, is it? So today I thought she was going to make some big announcement. What she actually said was, I'm going to tinker with it. I'm going to stop this nonsense about, my kids don't like the chicken nuggets, right? And so therefore that's a reason for them not being sent home. She's going to stop the idea that they can bring families in. I would imagine most people didn't realize they could bring, once one of them gets leave to stay, they can bring as many as they want in their extended family. Did you realize that? So I thought she said she's going to stop that. Well, then she did say it, but from not yet, not for months and months and months. Same with any adaptations or changes to the ECHR. She said that's what our ambition is. Ambition. People are rioting on the streets. Britain is a tinderbox, and you and Starmer think you can buy us off by saying, oh, yeah. Oh, that was the thing. The press office came out. Keir Starmer's actually got a St. George's flag. He got it for the football. Oh, well, and we're meant to believe this bullshit. Yeah, did you believe it? I mean, next they'll be telling us he's like, what's his name out the goodies? He's got a pair of Union Jack boxer shorts. It's absolute and utter tosh. And they're taking us for mugs again. She also says she wants to tinker with Article 8. Listen to me, Yvette Balls. We don't want you to tinker with anything. We want you to scrap the European Court of Human Rights. We want you to get us out of it. We want to be a sovereign nation. We want to look after anybody who needs help, as we've always done. But they believe, the majority of people in those boats, I'm sure of it, they believe are real refugees. The fact that, and as I keep saying this, I'll challenge him anytime he wants, Starmer. Put me in a room and I'll have to say what these people are, and you tell me what they are. And when you tell me they're refugees, tell me where they're from, Keir. Tell me why they haven't got a passport, Keir. Tell me why they say their name's this, Keir. Oh, and then tell me why you won't do biometric tests on them to make sure they are the age they say they are. Oh, that would be against their human rights. But hold on. What else did Yvette Cooper say today? Yvette Cooper said today they want to take in some refugees from Gaza who want to go to university, and they will do biometric tests on them to check their age. Because, of course, Hamas, who run Palestine, whatever that's called, the Palestinian state, they've already got people into our country by saying they're kids. So she's saying, no, we'll do biometric tests. I don't want to piss all over your parade, Yvette Cooper and Keir Starmer, but if you can do biometric tests on people from Gaza and it doesn't infringe their human rights, why can't you do it on the people who are claiming they're refugees or asylum seekers from the rest of the third world who are arriving at Dover? I'll tell you why. Because you're lying. You're lying again. You can't lie straight in bed, any of you. You didn't have any policies for when you came in. And by the same token, that Chris Phelps, he was putting the boot in today. But again, what did the Tories do when they were in charge? I take his view and his opinion that the figures could have gone right down by now. But you were the bloke who started this off by putting them in hotels in the first place. But you see, I'm not interested in really what Labour did. See, I'm making the mistake again. What the Conservatives did. I want to talk now about who's in charge. And the person who's meant to be in charge is Keir Starmer. And what's he doing? Nothing. Is he waving his flag with kindness? How do you wave a flag with kindness? What does that mean? It means he thinks they're yobbos. And I'll sum up all of this. I could have used the cliche although I used it ages ago, of he's rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. But instead, I think I'll finish at this little section by saying, no, this is all too little, too late. He is an idiot. So Yvette Cooper just tinkered at the edges today. And then, did you know now 78% of the British public say Labour is failing to handle the crisis over illegal immigration? 78%. So she promises to reform Article 8. It's meaningless. She's done nothing to stop the growing unrest, nothing to stop what happened last night in Epping. Did you see the child who got gassed by the police? And the police, I'm a massive supporter of the police, as you know, but they're beginning to act like bully boys again because they've been wound up. They're probably also pretty terrified. And that's why this is all unsustainable. What Keir Starmer should have done today, well, he should have got off his arse and gone to Parliament anyway. And he should have said, I'm your Prime Minister. I'm hearing what you're saying. We're going to revise the ECHR immediately. Nobody else is going to come in. Don't worry about where we're going to put them, because that was the other thing today. Hello, can you hear me again now? Well, I'm sorry about that. My mic, I turned it off, actually. I got a bit too passionate. I do apologise. So, can you hear me now? I'm sure you can. So, I just want to go back to this, just so we finally understand what I'm saying. You are being conned again. I'm fed up of having to say it, but it's the truth. The absolute truth. This government is conning you. So promises to reform Article 8 are meaningless, and they've done nothing to stop the growing unrest. There'll be more trouble tonight. Many people are calling the government traitors. So my question to you is, are they traitors? And I'll finish by saying, Starmer may have won the Epping court case, but he's lost the country, and we need him out. Do you agree? I say we need a general election. Starmer's government is crumbling, if not already collapsed. It's clear they're not on the side of us, the British people. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Well, that's my word. So now, Craig Urquhart's just said, did the plug come out, John? Yes, it did, but it's back in now. You can hear me now, can't you, Craig? Put your thumb up. I'm sure you can. All right, I'm coming to your views and your opinions. Thank you very, very much indeed for joining me tonight. Digital Corals says, keep it coming, John. 3 rockets. Yes, I will. Thank you, my friend. And don't forget, if you like what I'm doing, hit the like button on the video or on the podcast, wherever you're watching it. It helps the algorithm to tell other people just how good this is. And if you really like it and you'd like to donate a few bob, please click on the YouTube video, and just underneath the video, click on that $sign and donate a few quid. Otherwise, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I want to thank these people: Charlie M, Mark Pete, Dean Stone, Gavin Cardy, John Godley, all donated in the last 36 hours. Thank you very much indeed. If you'd like to do that, please do so and you'll get mentioned. All right, let's move on. Gaunty, you made a mistake the other day. You said Labour would go from leader to leader till they got to the lettuce. We've got the bloody lettuce now, says Jake. Jake, that's not a bad point. But don't call me Gaunt, because I never went to public school. My name's Gaunty or John, and you should know that, Jake. You've been with me for a long time. You're right. What is happening in our country? So he's going to turn with these people today, these new people he's put in government or his cabinet or advising him. It's going to turbocharge his premiership. He actually, talking of turbo things, he needs to bring in Dino Rod to unblock the shit and blow the shit away all around them, and especially the BS. Would you agree? Augusta Moore says, I have to say, Gaunty, I feel a big shift in the general consciousness. If that's enough to defeat these traitors, that is the question. You are right. You are right. There is a shift in the country. But when push comes to shove, will they listen? And is there an opposition? Well, there isn't at the moment. Kent is flying the flag. I've been to Dover, Deal, Sandwich, Faversham, Maidstone. Kent has obviously had enough. He means the flags are flying. I think it's great the way they've done the flag thing. I really do. Roy Brownlove, the People's Army, us, is rising, just like in the past. We will defend and defeat these traitors. Thank you very much indeed. What's Jackie Moore says? Jackie Ward says, the more I hear from the Labour Party, the harder I want to push back. Then she's got a flag of St. George and the Union flag. They really have a different agenda to the rest of us. What planet are they from? Jackie on YouTube, that is a very good point, because they're just totally disconnected, aren't they? Totally disconnected. He's been in Croatia for a week on holiday, lying on his sunbed. You'd think he'd think this through. How am I going to make up with the British people? And he's obviously decided, fuck him. That's what he's decided. He didn't even go to Parliament. Maybe he was busy washing his hair, or I don't know what he was doing, repainting his front door. I don't know. But he didn't go. He's got zero respect for us. He goes on Radio 5 and the guy was asking such soft questions. It was unbelievable. What's going on? Jake Morton Brown, I don't object to multiculturalism. What I object to is when our culture is forgotten. Good point. I've staff working with me from Nigeria and Ghana, and we had a jollof rice competition, which I joined in with, adding an English twist. We all had a good laugh, learned about each other, and made good food, good dishes. But this government would rather we self-flog and curse ourselves. Well said, my friend. Roy says on Facebook, just like our ancestors, we the people are rising to defend our country against the traitors and their stormtroopers and the invaders. It's not organised like that, but I understand where you're coming from. And I don't blame, as I keep saying, the individual person who gets in that dinghy. I don't blame them. If I lived in some godforsaken fucking shithole like Somalia, I'd want to come here. But the point is, there are legal routes to it. And we can't just let people who arrive at Dover get in first. We can't. And also, not only that, if Starmer or any leading politician actually knew who they were, that might make it a bit easier. But today, there was no talk about how they were going to clamp down on the sexual offences some of these people are committing, including rape of children, rape of 12-year-old girls. That's one of the allegations in Nuneaton. One raped her, the other one was throttling her at the same time. I'm sorry. You're the one who's brought this up, Keir. The first duty of the Prime Minister, is to protect my people. Well, bloody do it. Let's hear from you. Andrew Fishman says Tim Brooke Taylor. Thank you, Andrew. I was struggling for the name. Yeah, it was because it was who was it? The guy who did the Bill Oddie, wasn't it? And Graham Gardner and Tim Brooke Taylor. He had the Union Jack knickers. You're right. Thank you for that. Anthony Michael May has just put a load of Union flags on his comment. Jake Morton Brown, Augustus Moore says, is enough. Enough is enough. Multiculturalism has failed. We need to be able to decide our future and those we have here. Yes, but you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't want any immigrants in the country. That would be plainly stupid. I don't agree with multiculturalism. I actually believe in living in a multiracial society and people having their own bits of culture, which we can all respect. But the bottom line is, this is a Christian country. That's why I believe, and you can object to it if you want. That's my phone going off. That's why I believe halal should be banned, and also kosher. That's what I think. Now, you can disagree with me, but that's where I'm coming from. So I don't want this country to be all white or anything like that. I just don't want that to be the way. I don't believe that multiculturalism, we can be multi-racial, right? Anyway, let's move on. I'm trying to find some new ones here. Denise Deacon, I don't know where they're getting all this far-right nonsense from. The majority of people who are aggressive at the protests are Antifa or pro-Palestine. That's certainly how it looks to me as well, Denise. Thank you for your comments this morning. Craig Urquhart says, your plug came out. It's just said that earlier. But we need to pull the plug on Starmer. We certainly do. Or plug him in. That's a joke. I'm not suggesting we want to put him in an electric chair. But, I mean, we'll just look at these clowns behind you. Trevor Lammy calls President Trump a member of the KKK, and then doesn't understand why Trump doesn't like him. He's the idiot who wants to bring in national ID. I've forgotten his name now. That's the Chancellor of the Exchequer who fiddled her CV. I'm pointing out the pictures if you're listening, just on audio, by the way. Oh, and then we've got Angela. There's Angela Rayner. She's up to her neck or her forehead in questions about her housing situation. There's Keir Starmer, looking a bit younger than he does at the moment, but then I guess that's when he was the Director of Public Prosecutions. Did he ever tell you about that? He did that, oh yeah. But Jimmy Savile never came over his desk. It's Lisa Nandy underneath my name. Who we got then down there? Oh, that's Cruella. No, there's Cruella DeVille there. They're all behind me, you see. That's that idiot who wants to bring in digital ID. He's another one of them. John Healey was the one up there. That's John Healey. So there you are. Traitors. Every single one of them, in my opinion. And stinking, filthy hypocrites. Do as I say, not do as I do. Hey, Ange, is that the way it goes? And they know the good ship, Starmer, is now sinking. And like rats, they're positioning for power. Angie, she wants to be the next leader of our country. God help us. Lammy, what's he going to be? It's just a joke, isn't it? A complete and utter joke. You're listening to the John Gaunt Show here on YouTube, Facebook, and X, or Twitter, as it used to be called. If you like what I'm doing, please press the like button. The more times you press it, the better it is for me. 36 tonight. That's really good. Also, tell all your friends about it. Or restream the stream if you want. I don't know how you do it, but if you can. And if you want to donate some money, just press the $ underneath this video and donate a few quid, please. It all helps. Or alternatively, at the end of the broadcast, go to or do it now if you want. Go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, all one word, and please contribute some cash. That would all help. Buy me a coffee or buy me a beer. There, and then you get your name on the screen like that. All the people who have contributed before: Niven Casey, Ziggy Spicer Gibbs, Luke, Gary Munnery, Mark Leeds. There's loads of them. Thank you very much. And a lot of those people have done it more than once, and I thank you for it. And because don't forget, Lisa's got the spreadsheet out, so she's checking. How much worse can it actually get before Starmer goes, or do you reckon he thinks he's doing well? Lee, do you know what? I'm laughing because I actually do think he goes home at night with a semi and basically thinks, yeah, I'm doing really well. He goes back up to that flat and he thinks, yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well, me. Did you know I used to be the Director of Public Prosecution? But Jimmy Savile never came across my desk. Anyway, so that's what I think. Yeah, I think he thinks he's brilliant. If he was chocolate, I've said this about people before, he'd eat himself, Starmer. Starting with his head, hopefully. Yes, this government are traitors, says Jackie Allen on Facebook. Craig Urquhart says, it's all okay now, John. He's talking about the sound earlier, but I thought you were doing a Norman Collier. Yeah. Well, if you keep donating, I'll be able to buy a better microphone. It's not the microphone, it's the cable. Last time I went to London, Dino Rod was outside number 10. It obviously didn't work. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I just think that was just my first thought when they said he's having a rethink and this is going to turbocharge. Appointing Darren Jones. Everybody laughed their socks off at him. Yeah, majority of the people in the boats, according to Darren Jones, right, are women and children. They make me sick, these people. Andrew Fishman, I'm livid, and Tim lived and breathed Royal Britannia. Laugh out loud. I don't even know what that means. Sorry, mate. Rewrite it and send it again. Stephen Bailey, at the end of the day, say whatever you like. They are illegal. The whole world over. You need a passport to go to any country. Is illegal, end of. That's what I'm saying, Stephen. They are illegal. They're not refugees. They're not. But they see, again, this is the other contract the politicians play on you. When they say they're not illegal, the moment they claim asylum, technically, they're not illegal then. But they are, because they broke into the country. That's the bit that the liberals always try to stitch you up on. And I think it's a disgrace. Why is Indian far right, i.e. Modi, just fine? It is far white they don't like, not far right. Well, I don't agree with that, Andrew. I don't agree with that. But Modi's done a good job in India. Bottom line. Strong leader. Lee Massey, they believe they're doing well. And their voters think the same, says Michael Onions, who's talking tonight on Facebook. Lots of people on Facebook tonight. Lots on YouTube as well. Anne Guadagano says, I agree with you wholeheartedly, John. And she's put the Union flag and the flag of St. George. That's great to see so many people doing that, because that is really doing that to them, isn't it? Which is what we need to do. We need millions in London on the 13th to bring these communists down, says Bonnie Carrington. You're talking about Tommy Robinson's demo. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many people go on that, and if it keeps peaceful. Do you know, when I talk about objecting to them and how much I hate them, in no way do I advocate any violence. That's not what we should be doing. But then, did you see the woman last night? It was at Epping Town Hall. She got up there. She's one of the mums protesting. And she got the flag of St. George, and she was on this balcony. And she put the flag over, and then the coppers went in. And as I say, I'm a massive supporter of the British police. But I think some of them are getting a little bit carried away now. And violence can happen on both sides. And I'd like to see them, if they're going to deal with a mum like that, and she was still in the cells this morning, and one of the other organisers, when are they going to start dealing with Antifa like that as well? When? There's your question. August Moore says, just skip my question out. What's wrong with that? I can do whatever I want, August. Do you know what I mean? Have you checked this YouTube channel? Does it say August Moore TV channel, or does it say John Gaunt? Don't tell me who I need to go to first. I don't like it. I take the calls, the comments in the order that I want to make the program interesting. Sharon Walker says, shit doesn't get flushed. It blocks up the whole system. I think that's a fair point. Right then. So, have you had your say? Anybody else want to say anything else about this? I don't know how we're going to get rid of him, but I just hope, if the pressure keeps building, surely he'll want to stop, won't he? Surely it can't be pleasant. It can't be pleasant being the most unpopular PM. August Moore, now he says, I was asking how I can chip in FFS. Well, cash? Well, you should know that, August, if that's what you're doing. I've said it enough times. I'll say it again for you. www. Not that you'll donate now, but www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt on the internet. John Gaunt, all one word. Or just click the little $sign on the bottom of the video, the YouTube video, and donate there. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. I thought you were criticizing the fact that you hadn't had all your comments read out. Oh, I see. No, I've got to really apologise now. Let me just explain how it works. All these things are coming in from different places. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll only see the YouTube ones. Watching on Twitter, you'll only see the YouTube comments. I'm getting them all. So I get inundated. And sometimes I lose my way. So now I've got to apologise because August Moore did say earlier, how can I chip in to help support your content, Gaunty? I'd like to apologise unreservedly. No sarky comment at the end of it. I do apologise. But if you do want to chip in, it's www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or just click that $sign at the bottom of it. And that's good. That's a big man of you, August Moore. He says, okay, Gaunty, I love your content, mate. Thank you very much. I can be a stroppy sod sometimes, so I do apologise. I'm just trying to explain how difficult it is. You know, when you do a phone in on radio, when I was on national radio, people are taking the calls and then pushing through the calls and sometimes telling you where to go to next. There's none of that because it's me on my own. I got my accountant lady downstairs checking on the cash, but I haven't got anybody helping me in what I laughingly call the studio. Other people call it the back bedroom, but there we are. How the mighty fall. It don't really matter, does it, today with today's technology? Now, tomorrow's show, I'll be coming from my daughter's house. Yeah, I will be because I'm going down there for a week to dog sit, but I'm hoping to take most of my technology with me so you wouldn't even notice. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched tonight or listened, chipped in, talked, you know, put their comments up, and also to everybody who has been watching the past few months. I had some great news yesterday. Was it 700? Let me just tell you what it was, because I was quite impressed, to be honest. Hang on, I've got it here. Just don't go away. Where is it? You know I'm going to big myself up now, don't you? Because I wouldn't take this much time otherwise. But now I can't bloody find it. Anyway, I think we hit 750,000 views of my content. So I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who's done that and spread it on. All right. Cheers. Right. I'm off. Jackie Ward, as per usual, there she is with her 3 love hearts. Thank you. Sharon Walker says, good night, John. Thank you. Good night. Lee Massey says, great. Good show, Gaunty. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great, though. It was okay. All right. I got a lot on my mind today. But anyway. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you've been listening later and now you want to come, why don't you subscribe to John Gaunt TV? It doesn't cost anything. That's on YouTube. And then you'll know when I'm doing shows. And by the way, if you missed yesterday's show, I did an extra one yesterday, Sunday. Go back and have a look at it now on YouTube. I think it was pretty good. Pretty better than today's, I think. So, but you be the judge. All right, then. I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30. Although I might do it early because I say I'm going to go to Roses. But we'll move from there. But just remember this. If you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them. Thanks for your support. See you soon.